everybody. Welcome back to part 2. If you actually survived that 2-hour fun fest that was part 1, and you're curious what's going to go on now, well, I'm just going to shut up and start talking. Alright, so I'm waiting for some things to come in, like I said, to finish the interior, and I just can't stop tinkering. So what I'm going to do is, I figured, you know what? Since I added a door on the inside here, I gotta have something outside here, right? To not do that would just be crazy. So I have these pike stuff, intermediate and short and medium wall sections, cinder block. I like them, they're nice. Alright, so what we're gonna say is, at some point in time, this addition was put on the back of the building with this cool looking industrial smokestack. I don't know why, just because I like it. It comes out of here. Maybe it's an oil burner. Oil furnace or something like that. It's part of the oven. It's part of heating the building. It's whatever. It's just industrial and stacky looking, so I like it. So I have these. I cut an opening for a man door here and for a roll-up door here. Again, from pike stuff, because it all kind of goes together nice as a system. And then I have this material here. I'm thinking of maybe cutting it like there's a pad here. And I'll stick out a little bit from the door, and I'll assemble everything on this. That way I can make this, you notice that, as a as a sub-assembly, and make everything here. I'm probably going to drill a hole, try to get this stack to fit into the building a little bit, and then add some cool-looking tar or some sealant around it, or whatever you do for a flue for a chimney. I don't know. Roof's going to be simple, just another piece of the archival mat with more of this. Just a piece of the sandpaper for the roof, same as what's up here. And I'll kind of weather it similar, although maybe a little bit more fresh looking, just because this is an addition that was put on at some other point in time. And then I can use this side of the building if I feel like it. And I may, I don't know yet. Bring a tank car in here. Maybe there's some kind of tank car unloading. And maybe even put some pipes over into this building. That's where they unload oil. There could be a tank out here or something like that. I don't know. Or tanks over here. I don't know. I'll see. Again, I don't plan stuff. I just kind of sit down and start winging it. And this is not going to be real, visible very well, because you're going to be seeing it from this side. But it is relatively close to the aisle, so a tall dude, he could peer over there, so I'll put something back here. Just cut this, maybe add some of the Monster Model Works concrete around here, because I like that stuff that can really weather up nice. And then it gives me a nice base for everything to make a little sub-assembly. Alright, so let's play around with this. Again, cutting these openings is fun. You just got to take your time and be very careful. Cut them narrow and then sand them to make it fit, but it's fine. It's just freaking plastic, so it cuts okay. Alright, so let's continue on with that. I'm probably then going to go ahead and solder in the wires, the drops for here, and then I can get this roof on and secured, get the tar paper down, get it weathered, and get this done. And then by the time that's all complete, I should get this stuff in to finish the interior. And that's not going to take long. They're just plastic, a little plastic kit, paint them up, get them glued in, and away we go. And then get this roof on and secure. Well, drop the leads down. Don't forget the leads, Rob. Oh, that would aggravate me if I did that and had to solder up through the bottom somehow. So, could you imagine that? You go through all this work, all the damn interior lights, you put the roof on, glue it on, you're like, I'd rip the roof off and do it again. All right, anyway. You see, I can just start going off on wild, babbling tangents. All right, let's forge ahead here and try to get this darn building done. Oh boy, here we go. All right, I gotta stop myself, but I wanted to add some more details here on the backside. So this is the little annex that they built some point in time. Again, it's newer. That's why it's a cinder block construction, a little different roof. Construction than the main building that was added, 10 years ago or something like that, not from the original building. The roof is just some of that archival material. I did add some supports on it because it's just basically cardboard. This is a piece of corrugated material I got from Bill Schultz. Some strips of the same cardboard glued around the edge just to make it look like, yeah, okay, it's a roof. And I'll paint that, and that'll be ready for install. For the cool stacky thing here, I kind of changed it, not to change it, but I added a little ring here on the building with a hole cut through it. See there, so that way when I get it all set and secured, I can just do a little super glue in there to keep it all nice and together, you know, for hurricane force winds. And all I did here, just to kind of conceal the hole, if I can do this without everything falling apart. Come on, you. I found that tube in my tube of K&S Engineering leftover various tubes. Super glued that in there, it fit nice. And then found a corresponding evergreen tube that kind of looks like a seal that will fit into. Cut it in a miter saw, put it on put it on this, brought it into the building, put a little bit of glue in there, took it out, glued it in, secured it on the inside as well, so that's for the stacky smokestack. Here I added some piping. Figure, well, look, they're going to unload tank cars, right? Well, let's have something for them to make it at least look like they have some way to unload it. All this is here. I know it's probably a little bit out of scale. It's from Plastruct. It's some of their various valves and piping, and well, the piping just tubing and fittings and whatnot, but it's just to simulate that there's some way you can bring a tank car in here. Right? These are the unloading points. Maybe a little nozzle and some rubber hose, I don't know. But if you're going to go into the building, if you're going to do some internal tanks or use right away, you close that valve, open that valve, you can go in the building. If you're going to come into here to a storage tank, which I'll say there's some inside here, then you close that, open that. That's a check valve, just in case, because you don't want backflow, because if you're pumping into a tank and something happens and the head pressure wants to force it back, so it's a one-way valve. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it is or not. Then I cut what they called a what was that piece down there? It's a nozzle. Well, I cut the end of it, drilled out the rest of it so I could put the tube through it. So now I got a little variability there, so I can kind of play with it. So if I'm not perfect, I got some adjustability on it. Then I added some T's here for some supports. They're not perfect. You can see they're up a little bit, but I probably won't worry about it, because when this goes in place and I put gravel and stuff in there, you'll never notice that. Plus, you're not really going to be able to see this. Yeah, and since it's not real visible, I didn't worry about going crazy with some really, really high-tech valves or anything. It's just, you know what? Just in case you peer over the building, you look at it, you go, oh, look at that. That's how they unload the tank cars. All right, so let's get this moving along here and, again, get this building done. All right, I got to wrap this up. Here's the little annex that I made. I don't know what the heck it is. It's some type of boiler room, fuel supply, burner. I don't know, just something cool and industry looking. Again, it's just pike stuff. Those what the heck's this stuff called? They're just like concrete wall sections. They're pretty nice. They interlock together at the ends. I just used the pieces that came right out of the bag. Glued them all together. Have it on a base that I made out of the task board from N-Scale Architect. I weathered it, and then I did seal it pretty good with a Krylon matte spray, because this is going to be around water and stuff, and I don't want to warp and everything, so hopefully that helps. And again, the roof is just a piece of that mat board with mat board strips. I found this gigantic filter, vent, probably way too big. I think it's from Rick's, but I like it. Whatever's in there's got to be cool. We'll just say that. And on the front, that's got the pike stuff roll-up door. This hole over here is going to be for some piping. It's going to come in. Probably won't have that all installed till it's on the layout. And unfortunately, this is all on the back side. So I don't know why I spent so much time on this, because it's hardly ever going to be seen. But I'll force you guys to look at it. Now, what I did here, now this is pretty cool. I'm not ready to cover this in another video, but I got a bunch of New York Central relay and control type boxes. Don, the guy that's working with me on this stuff, and they're great. And the one cool thing about this one, again, it's a New York Central prototype. It's a little terminal box. But what I did was I cut everything off the back of it. He includes the cable feed. So it looks like to me, a perfect little, little control box there for the door. I love it. And then on the back side, for a little interest, I took one of the cabinets, cut the bottom legs off, sanded the back flush, and glued it against the building. Like it's a little control box. It's got the high voltage warning sign there, all that kind of fun stuff. So the stack is installed. It's down. You can see it's got some drippage of some stuff, some type of industrial stuff there. And the holes drilled. I did poke it through, super glued it on the inside. So it's pretty well together. So these three sides are done. The back side isn't, because you're not going to see that. It's going to sit against the one side of the main high bay. But again, unfortunately, this little bad boy, which I kind of like, not going to be real visible. But anyway, that's that. So that's going to be the Annex on the back. You can see the roof's drying on that. I got the power feed in. I got the power feed on the main bay as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get that roof on. I'll bring it over just to show it. So I add some more details to it, but that's I like that little building. I mean, again, I'm not exactly sure what it would be. Probably doesn't make much common sense, but then nothing on this channel does. So there you go. I like it. That was fun. All right, let's again keep moving here to get this darn thing done. Okay, real quick before I cover this thing all up, I did add some more, just some interior details. I'm not sure how well they're going to show amongst all the wires and the supports, but there's a Woodland Scenic fork chuck that's through in there. There's some 2 motors ready to go in the oven. Some other faller equipment was assembled to put in there. There's 2 MG sets getting ready to go out somewhere. And let me see if I can spin this around, maybe get a different view. But and the floor has been weathered a little bit more. There's some more equipment back there, just to show, or just to give the impression that there's something going on inside the building. So let me give it a quick spin just so we can see inside the door and see what it looks like. Alright, just for fun, there's a view in the big door at the end. Some larger motors ready to go, fork truck by the oven, MG sets, and way there in the back, look at that. There's actually some transformers. And the guy there hugging them, that must be me. Alright, so that's that view. Let's give it a spin and see in the side doors. Okay, here's a look in this door. Guys sweeping up. A little mess on the floor there. Again, those boxes there were actually on the Woodland Scenics fork truck. I pulled them off and put a skid with the motors on it. That's what's back there, ready to go in the oven. Then over on this side, when you look in, you can kind of see it. Again, just to create the impression that, yeah, there's guys working. And I didn't want, 45 dudes in there. Just some. Just give the impression there's some machines going there. And this guy's smashing his head on a motor, moving it somewhere. And that's me hugging a little transformer. So just some stuff going on. And then I'll try to quickly zoom up top here. Again, I don't know, just because of all of the paraphernalia going on here, how well we'll be able to see inside. But so that's the view in the bay. Okay, let's get this roof on so we can get this thing moved along a little bit further. Oh, I did also add, let me just kind of pan back and slowly move here. I don't know, it's awful dark. Let me see if I can fix this. I did decide on the name. It's the S.J. Yokel Electric Company. Now that means something if you can figure it out, if you're a Simpsons fan. It's the small apparatus division. I just kind of, oh, whatever. Alright, I'm not real fussy with names, but that's a sign I printed off. Times New Roman font. I did add the nut bolt washers, 8 of them across there to bolt that up to the brick building there. So that's that is the sign we're going to use. I didn't put it here just because I thought it might be harder to see for people that are coming in. So, but I might put a small sign on the front of the office type building, but I wanted to get something on it. So that's that. Okay, time for the roof. Let's get it on. Alrighty, I'm going to call this done. Do one final pan around the building here and then get this video up. I know I said I was going to show it on the layout, but that's going to take me more time. I'll do a quick, real brief segment over there to show you, why that is. But anyway, so here's the building. Here's the high bay. Basically, all I did here was add some details to the roof. Just some cool looking venty things, and just things I felt like. There's some leaves laying on top. They're just laying there. Yeah, they're going to move around and whatnot, but yeah, that's okay. And I weather things a little bit with some various ammo of MIG pigments and some Vallejo washes, and just kind of having a little bit of fun. Back here on this side, to be totally honest, that is a seam hiding barrel. I wouldn't call it a mistake, but that's where the clever paper ended. Wasn't quite long enough to go the whole length of the building, and I'm not skilled enough to really hide seams very well, so I said, you know what? I know how to hide it. It's a seam hiding barrel. Now, why the barrel's there, I don't know. You have to ask the guys that were last on the roof. So, alright, so that's that. Oh, I did add the sign here in the front. Again, that's printed on paper and then cut out. There are nut bolt washers bolted to the side of the building. It's probably hard to see because the light here is not that great. And then I did add, at this end, I don't know if I can show this. I'll try to just slowly move down here. Maybe try to get some light. I have the ISO cranked over here too, so hopefully it's not too grainy. I added a ladder there going up the side, a safety cage ladder. Not painted yellow. I've seen some photographs. I actually have seen photographs of, maybe not exactly like that, but actual safety cages. I thought they were more a later era item, but I've seen them from back in the 30s. Anyway, so I just put it on there. I did add some of the Central Valley, the little top curve parts that go over the top there for the folks to get some support. Climbing over on the roof. And that's a shapeways part that I had in my goodie box. Again, here's the end. There'll be more details added on the docks and whatnot over on the layout, but that is that. And then if we cruise down this way, make it real dark here. I'm going to roll my chair. Hopefully it's not too seasick inducing. I added another little ladder here. I figured, well, they got to get on this other roof, so you might as well just do it from the main roof over there. So, okay. There's a vent back there, kind of like a, I don't know, cyclone type vent, because that might be the light, the carpentry shop or the winding area or whatever it is. So that's a little bit more of a robust type vent. That's just the paper out of the kit, the simulated tar paper, adhesive backed. And I'm not very good at matching things up, so when I was done, there were some gaps in between the strips. Try as I might, I just couldn't get it perfect. So I took it out and painted it, to be honest, with some Vallejo hobby spray, their Panzer Gray paint, and then some other, I think, US khaki, and just some light colors to give it some texture. And then it's been weathered, again, with ammo of MIG pigments and some washes and some runs of rust and whatnot, and another vent here. So all kinds of fun stuff. So that is it. That's the this will be the aisle side. In fact, this is going to be real close to the edge of the layout, so you're going to see a lot of this. So I took a little bit more time on it, and that's why I know you can't see, but the interiors are there. It's lighted and whatnot, because you're going to be pretty close to this. So, alright, so let me spin it around just to show the back side, what that's going to look like, which is going to be harder to see. But I did the work, so I'm going to force you to watch it, or at least click away from the video. Alright, here's the back side, which you really won't be able to see all that well. But I did do some work back here. Again, the front part. The office is just the office with the vent and some weathering and runoff of the vents and everything. That's all normal. And then, of course, the high bay roof is from the back side. Again, this vent here is over the oven. So that's kind of the, a nicer vent for that. That's just, I don't know, just look cool and venty. So I took it. This, again, they kind of do welding down in this area. So I figured it kind of looks like it. Oh, okay, it's kind of a vent that maybe, helps pull air up out and vent it out. I don't know, it just kind of look cool. So it's there. And here on the back, here's my scratch-built addition. Exactly what's in there, I'm not sure. But again, I did add a door on the back of this wall coming through right past the center, so that would come right in here. I know it doesn't really matter, but no one's going to know. And the door's only paper, so it's not real. So no one's going to walk through it. But it would come in there into some type of, boiler, auxiliary room, heat, fuel for the oven. I don't know. I just wanted to make it something look auxiliary-ish and stacky-ish. So that's what it is. Again, that's that Shapeways industrial smokestack, they call it. Mounted to the base there. Then the scratch-built Annex out of pike stuff. The wall sections. And then I figured, alright, just for fun. This isn't really highly detailed. I mean, the valves are way too big. These are those Plastruct valves. Really kind of crude looking, I think. But the fact is that the only way you're going to ever see this if you're tall enough to peer over the building. I said, okay, so if I bring a tank car in here, at least there's some way they can unload it. They got some unloading things there. I just kind of played around, had a little bit of fun. That's just, I think, 26 gauge wire, super glued into the end. And, the pike stuff. Plastruct makes their valves and piping to fit with various size T's and whatnot. So that it's kind of a neat system. It's just not super detailed. But, if you close that valve, open that, you can load into the building. You close that, open that, you can load into the shed. So there must be some kind of tank in there. That's a check valve. I figured if you're loading, you don't want to have backflow. So when this is open and that's closed, it'll let fluid flow in this direction only, not, I don't know, whatever. So that's one of their flange fittings. It's adjustable. The pipe will slide through that. So to get, a nice final fit, I have some adjustability there where I set the building. Again, that's the end and the pad, and that's the door. That's a pike stuff door. And that is, which will probably be in another video, one of the New York Central terminal boxes. It just looked really cool. So I cut it off at the post, and that's on there then as a little, external control for the door and whatnot. I just thought it looked cool. So this is perfect. So that's that. And again, this has got a nice big vent on it. Why? I don't know. Again, I had them. They must have got a 2-for-1 deal, because these two look real similar. So the purchasing agent got a good deal on that. And then down at this end, again, it's weathered up. Some type of stuff falls down there. I don't know what it is. Some type of chemical. And then that's another New York Central. One of the new New York Central cases that I kind of cut off and slapped there on the ground. It just looks kind of cool. I mean, I painted it a black color, not a silver color. Weathered it up, and it just looks, cool and industry-ish, if that's a word. Okay, so that is it. Now, just to finalize this, because I know I'm not going to be able to show it to you on the layout in this video. We'll go over the layout. I'll show you where it's going to be, and you'll see some of the work I need to do before I can actually plant this puppy on the layout. But whew, at least this is done, and this took me a lot longer than I expected. Of course, I got to fiddle around with this and stuff that really won't be seen. But anyway, all right. So that's the building. Let's go over to a quick scene, as quick as I can make them, on the layout, showing you where it's going to go. Then we will get this published. Okay, so here we are over in Lake City, and where that building is going to sit is going to be right, I don't know if I can do this and point with my hand and show you, but it's going to be right in here. Now I'm going to have to back it up pretty far because the building kept getting longer and longer as I was doing the loading dock and whatnot. And you can see I need to extend this out. I was going to go out and buy foam, but I thought, wait a minute, it's just to support a building and a siding. I probably have some drop pieces of plywood that I could cobble in and just, you know, stick it out, put in my front, because I do have another 1x out here to mount the fascia to. I can support the plywood if it's down, maybe, you know, like a 1-inch piece of foam or something like that, just to give us some ability to, I don't know, poke holes in it or culverts, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to look at doing that before I run out to Home Depot and buy a $34 sheet of 2-inch foam. That, hey, it's good stuff, but I don't know if I need to. So again, that's going to sit here, so I need to get that done. But before I do this, I need to get that done. So you can see I got some super trees ready to go and some other stuff. I need to get that area there, that little hill, scenic up, at least what I want to do on this side of it, because I can get into it fairly well now. You know, once I add, I'm not walking too fast for you, once I add the other piece of 1x, it's going to reduce my length, and I'm not the tallest dude in the world, so I want to get this done. So I need to get that done. So I'm finally going to shut up, put the trees in there, get that done, then I can move forward and get this done. So you can see that's where it's going to sit. And I've been playing around with it because, again, the building keeps growing longer and longer. So I hope I have the room for the siding, which is going to be right in the front. So I might have to put a piece of plexiglass here or something like that to keep the operators from destroying things and going Godzilla on stuff. And then the siding track comes up, goes over, and matches up, you know, coming across there. So that's that. And then what else is going to be in the area? I have some ideas, but that's not for this video. That's for later. So that's where it's going to go. You can see why I'm not showing it, because I need some work. I need to do some work over here. But before I really get this too far along, I mean, I'll get the wood cut and figure out what I'm going to do here. But I need to get that area, get that kind of those tree, that little view block in place so I'm not reaching over. Now I can reach over from the Wallace Junction side, but again, I'd rather get it done so I'm not reaching over either side to get in there and do the work. So okay, so that's that. That's the building. That is the Scratch Bash. This will be its future home. So thanks for watching. Hopefully it was my mistakes help people somewhere. You know, how you muddle through this kind of stuff, the ideas and the thought process, at least that I go through. I know some people are probably much better organizers, much more well planned, and I just kind of sit and fumble through it. But hey, we have fun and we got there. So again, thanks for watching, and then more to come as we get working over here in Lake City to get the scene done.